It's come to my attention that in this particular community app, listings of past meetings that were recently added by a new team member feel notably slower than renderings of future meetings, and a quick glance at database utilization shows a rapid increase of queries since the new feature has been introduced. I'll use a custom test that will amplify the performance difference between the two cases, simulating fetching and rendering of 1,000 meetings. To observe the behavior and measure the performance differences, I'm going to use AppMap. Now let me run the test and record my code behavior with AppMap. This is interesting because the future meetings took 0.16 seconds, while past meetings took a lot more time, 0.42 seconds. So let's drill down and compare the code flows of the two requests. This is a Django app, and I can see that the renderer took 0.14 seconds for future and 0.41 seconds for past meetings. I can also instantly see that the first code flow has 4 children versus 1,500 for the second one. Let's look at the first flow first. I can see that 3 SQL commands were executed for the future meetings request. The first lists all future meetings from the table, and the 2 following SQL commands pre-fetch data for all future meetings from related tables. Let's drill down to the second flow, the request to view all past meetings. The second sequence starts with fetching all past meetings. What follows is very different though. The ORM runs 3 queries for each past meeting in the database, 1,500 trips to the database total for 500 past meetings created by the test. Even on my dev environment with no other database load, the performance difference between the 2 SQL command patterns is pretty remarkable. Let's see what happens in the code that sets up the data entities. A quick glance in the view implementation reveals that the past meetings view lacks the select related and prefetch related method calls, causing the observed n+1 problem. Note that despite the obvious code issue, the tests were passing previously. Functionally, the existing code works, but it causes extra costs and risk and puts an unnecessary strain on the database. So let's fix and run the test again. And here we can see that with the fix in place, the number of the database queries dropped, and the performance of the past meetings flow has improved dramatically. To recap this demo, AppMap helped me quickly identify a performance problem and verify a fix by providing me with all the clues required to discover and address the performance impacting flaw in my code.